have some orc banners here. We have all kinds of fun stuff. We have some other rocky things over here. Some rocky protrusions. Yeah, let's just do some more of our Minas Morgul there. And then, of course, we've got your Mountains of Mordor behind you there with a little bit of a reddish glow over here. Hey, Grim, welcome back. So, Greticus and Mori, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Mauricio Mori, I do believe maybe that's a probably a more appropriate way to say that, I would think. But Mauricio, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So here's going to be obviously, was this the Tower of the Moon, Armored Wolf? I think that's what that was, the Tower of the Moon. So opaque alley up here. We got our white. We're probably going to have to get our Fanchon red out here too, but that'll be later. Your brilliant yellow pale, that's your regular cadmium yellow. That is the French Indian red, still playing around with that. That's your diet cadmium scarlet over there. What we got there, this is our homemade fluorescent green oil paint. Asphaltum over here. These are the usuals, indigo, black spinel umber. Down here, you got your phthalo green, perline black, aka super dark green. Prussian blue here, a little less asphaltum over there. But first, okay, let me get a little bit more of a shaking going on this. So yeah, it's almost Velfer. It's almost like we might semi know what we're doing here. Not really, but sort of. You're just giving that a good shake. I think maybe that's a little bit better now. Those, I noticed you have to kind of give those a little bit of a shake every now and then. All right, let's use a little bit of our phthalo green here. And it's almost going to be like a pre-glaze. Yeah, it's almost going to be a little bit like a pre-glaze. Of course, this surface right here is going to be a little bit, shall we say, drier. So we can actually maybe use a bit more thinner as well. It's going to be absorbent, right? It's certainly going to be absorbent here. Let's maybe throw a smidge of our white in there. And yeah, some of our green's going to carry down here too. A little bit less over here, so more like our perline black over here. And it must be messy before it can be neat. And that also applies to regular paintings too. So we are going to use ourselves some thinner here. I didn't treat this with gesso or anything like that, just in case anybody's wondering. All right, we're going to head up to Indigo Land up here. And get a little bit of our thinner in that. And a little like so. That's supposed to be your dark Mordory mountains back there. And then we got some dark stuff up in front here too. Patik, how you doing again? Nice to see you. So I have to say, Nixel, it's been a really good one. It's probably, I mean, so far it's been the best one in a while, I'd have to say. It's, I guess maybe when they fall on a weekend like this, it's just everybody else is so chill and relaxed that it kind of makes your day more fun, I think, because everybody else is a little bit more being able to chill out and have more fun, I think. But it's definitely been a really fun day, and of course, it's folks like again Armored Wolf that are super generous and really make things fun. So there's some fun new miniatures here. There's all kinds of tasty treats. I mean, like all kinds of fun, tasty treats. So that's going to be really nice. All right, I am going to, we'll do a little bit of a change here now. I'm also going to grab some, oh, look at this. These came with the pizza, so we're going to be using these as our paper towels right here. Because, we have them. Why don't we use them? How's about a little bit of asphalt, maybe a bit of the French Indian red here. And let's start to get a little bit of a darker, warmer color up in this area here where our Mordorish sky is going to be. Where's my Fanchon red? You're sitting around here somewhere. There you are. Tiny little smidge of that. Not going to need very much. Oh yeah, Nixel, actually just about when I was almost about to start, all of a sudden there was a knock at the door, which we thought was groceries, and it turned out to be indeed a Giordano's care package from Armored Wolf, much to our surprise. Patika says it's learn Patik, it's and definitely just learn at your own pace, right? No, and thank you so much. Velfira, thank you very much. Here, ooh, boy. I gotta remember I got a glove on here. I almost dropped this thing. Thank you very much, Velfira. Thank you so much for that. Well, that's good, Velfira, because, well, guess what we need? We need a whole passel of these, right? Like we were talking about last night. So I guess that means we'll have to be putting that order out there soon. Try and get those puppies in here. All right, I think I'm going to also use a little bit of the black spinel here. So Patik, sorry to hear about your about the PlayStation right there. Now, is that something that's ever happened before, or is that just a, you know, every so often, just those things kind of do that? I never actually had one, so not super familiar. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna have a whole bunch of different brushes going here, because that's always fun. Let's get some darker landscape stuff going back here, and I think that should probably take the form of some indigo. So this board is very absorbent. We have to kind of keep that in mind. I mean, it is really, really, really absorbent. Again, I could have hit it with some gesso first, but I was kind of counting on it being a little bit more absorbent, believe it or not. Because the more layers of this we get on here, you'll see the difference. All right, I think we're almost there with our little cliff that's, I think, ending about there. We're also going to see a lot of edge management here because we have all these planes, right, that all go further and further back. We also have this dark over here. And then we've got ourselves a little Nazgul dude that's going to be sitting over there with his little wings like so. Oh, look, a little tail sitting over there. All kinds of fun stuff like that. Hey, Trashorama, how are you doing? So Nixel, the number itself is incomprehensible to humans. We never say what it is because it would actually drive humans to madness because it's beyond infinite. It's technically beyond infinite. So yes, it's a number that is not comprehensible by the human mind. So for safety's sake, we can't divulge that because otherwise, yeah, ooh, boy, it could be bad. It could really be bad. We've had bad experiences before. A few thousand years ago, it didn't go very well the last time we kind of brought up what that might be. I do have some miniatures made in oils, not something I'm too proud of. So Patik, you can always send me, say, an Instagram message, just James Wappel on Instagram. Obviously, I do the Facebook thing too. But those are probably your best ways for doing that because unfortunately Patreon just doesn't let you share pictures. Oh, look at this. This is starting to mix here. So that's fun. Yeah, I was hoping that would still be able to mix. As for as absorbent as this is, it's still able to mix just a little bit. So Art and Michael, definitely. Yeah, it's like I said, we tried it. We said, well, okay, let's see what happens, and we tried it, and boy, the human mind is just not. It cannot understand that kind of a number. Hey, Big Jim, how you doing? Big Jim says, wait a minute. Am I supposed to get a quarter out of this thing? Come on, man, I can't get a quarter out of that. So Big Jim, how are you doing? Let's see. Oh, no, that really that Patique, it's when we first started painting miniatures, we had no idea what we were doing. We just had absolutely no idea. We didn't even know what static grass was. I mean, it was just, it was, it was kind of sad. We just had no clue what was going on. So we always respect everybody, no matter what point they're at, right, on their painting journeys. We always respect that because yeah, we certainly started from, well, the beginning, right? Now here's a little bit of our brilliant yellow pale, so it's going to start to tone this all down. Oh, this gets toned down. So Big Jim, I hope that you're doing well, and if everyone could please give Big Jim a follow, that would be sensational because it's only about 24 hours now until Monster of the Week begins, and that is hosted by, well, it's going to be GM'd by Big Jim Slade. You don't want to miss that. Finishing up some painting. Yeah, Big Jim, we'll see how many of these guys we can get to. I figured at least maybe a couple of them. Maybe a couple of them. That would be fun. Maybe more. But okay, here is our... And it was the Tower of the Moon, right? The tower in Minas Morgul there. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. See, that can still do our blendy stuff there. Now we are using, I gotta say, we're using a little bit of thinner to kind of break up that paint. And to see what kind of a, it's like a giant blending brush right there. Just gonna start pushing some of this stuff around here. And I know that looks like absolutely nothing, but just pretend that's a Nazgul over there, but then that's a big evil tower, and pretend this is a whole bunch of orcs walking around here. Oh, thank you so much, Patique. I appreciate the birthday wishes, as always. So, Nixel, we won't be, put them up for auction, but they might be presents of some kind. That wouldn't be unheard of for maybe some oil paintings to be handed out as presents. It's something I used to do all the time when I was a kid. I used to do that all the time. Now we're going to start filtering in a little bit of our white over here because now we have to start thinking about that sickly glow, right? And the more opaque this gets, the more paint we're going to get on here, the more we're going to be able to do some of that regular style wet blending. We won't forget our fluorescent green though. We'll keep popping that in there every so often. Like so. Yeah, yeah, trash. Actually, I think I'm trying to think who has the most. Well, my sister probably has the most that are easily available. You can see them. They're just kind of all still hanging up on the walls. So there's paintings from a long time ago still hanging up on the walls. I mean, some of them go back to when I was 12, 13 years old. They go back a ways. And now see, we're starting to get some of those softer little blends right there. No, Patique, it's we're using fluorescent greens. We're using all kinds of fun stuff. What we're not doing is just hacking away at it, right? We're putting it down, we leave it, right? That's usually one of the big problems is that people just kind of keep stabbing away at it, which is understandable because when you're working with acrylics, it's dry, right? So you can kind of keep stabbing away at it and keep kind of, just worrying it is sort of the word that well, I haven't used that word in a long time, but that's sometimes what folks will do. They'll just kind of keep hacking away at that paint, and it just starts to get muddy because it just keeps getting mixed too much. But here we're not doing a lot of actual just mixing per se. Here we're going to use one of our number 8 rounds now. We're also just changing up the brushes too every so often. So you see, we got another batch painter, and we'll let it just mix into that a little bit. There we go. So I think now we're starting to get a little bit of a vibe here. What's supposed to be going on here? See how we're just kind of scumbling at this here? Look at that brush. Just scumbling away. And it starts to soften some of those edges. So Dixel, I mean, we might, you know, if maybe somebody has a particular hankering for a certain image that we do in our landscapes of Middle Earth, this is also kind of a little bit of a pre-test for when we do our painted backdrops for the tables right there. So Turtle Man says that they got the $5 with wait a minute, a $5 store. Wow, that's pretty snazzy. I've actually heard of a $5 store. I mean, obviously heard of the dollar store, but $5 store sounds pretty snazzy. Now I'm just going to try and we're going to renew some of our drawing here. I think we'll have that go up a little bit farther. And then there's that. Boy, this is another piece of terrain that would be really fun to build here. Actual Minas Morgul. That would be just sensational. All right, so that is here. That's what we need to have coming out here. Another one of these bits, like so. It's what's weird in the image. It looks like there's grain silos here. It's just like a tower or something like that, but it actually kind of looks like grain silos, and it's reminding me of the grain silo in the Battle of Battle of Stalingrad. So Turtle Man, how are you doing? 5 below, but they do have some $10 items. So yeah, Nixel, these are just it's really more, it's a present to me because being birthday and stuff. Nosferatu, thank you so much. Thank you very much. That's appreciated. So Nosferatu, I really had.
Little hobbits, spark my gun.
And thank you so much for that follow, Turtle Man. Hello, little hobbits. Look, I know that's a big boat. That ain't getting me to Valinor, man. Maybe you could stick a couple of hobbits in there, but not me. So I think we're gonna try and Nosferatu get another Basilean ship prepped for Monday. Maybe maybe a mid-size, a small one, and see what we can do for Monday on some more Basilean ships, perhaps. I guess it's gonna be Armada Mondays, maybe for a while. I wasn't sure if you saw that, Nosferatu. So all this is just some hot press illustration board. There's no gesso on it. Ironically enough, I have gesso, but I kind of wanted this to get absorbed a little bit more quickly, so there's no gesso on there. So yeah, Nosferatu, we had a lot of fun doing the Nelsonian color scheme, right? On our I think that's, what is it, the Basilean Dictator, I believe it's called. Yeah, I think that's what it's called, Basilean Dictator. And thank you so much for the bitses. Big Jim, thank you very much. Well, look, we can just, we can toast Big Jim. Thank you very much. That is appreciated. So I'm not sure if people, here, let me change this around real quick here. So this is what we painted on our birthday stream last year. Ironically enough, though, this was a birthday present. So I painted this on a Saturday night, and the next day that was in a frame and in a friend's hand. So that was done as a birthday present for a friend of mine. So in all likelihood, one of these is going to be a birthday present for him too. So you can't let him know. But yeah, that was last year we painted that. So it's almost like it's kind of a semi-tradition then, I guess, to paint 2D stuff on my birthday. And what better than landscapes of Middle Earth, right? Yes, indeed, landscapes of Middle Earth for a fun special birthday stream. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so, Nosferatu. Because now, have you been able to do your usual streams? And oh, actually, will you be streaming this Sunday? Because if folks want to give Nosferatu a follow, that would be great. Because Nosferatu usually streams on weekday evenings and also very, very early on Sunday. So be sure to also give Nosferatu a follow. Oh, you know what? That extends out to here. Okay, that's what this is going to be. And then we'll extend it out this way, do our little our iron crenellations on top there. So yeah, Turtle Man, I'm not sure if you've seen some of the stuff. This has been called the Lord of the Rings channel because well, even here, so this is some of the 3D printed stuff. These are the printing goes ever on Iron Hill Dwarves. And this is some terrain that we have been making for our Rohan terrain board. So we did that building, we painted it up. And of course, it's our Dunlending and Wolves of Isengard army that's setting that on fire. We've painted Treebeard, and then of course, we started making more Rohan buildings like the Not So Great Hall of Erkenbrand, our stable. You want even bigger with the archery range. We want even bigger with the windmill. And then we want even bigger with the, well, it's taller with the watchtower. And then also we have the blacksmith shop. So we've also been working on Minas Tirith armies. We have a very large Moria army as well. And here's some more of our, there's some more of our printing goes ever on. That's again for our Moria army there. And let's see, we've got our, where's the rest of our, there it is. There's the rest of our Moria army, the Balrog. And of course, we have painted the Witch King. Speaking of Minas Morgul, we painted up the Witch King there. So yeah, we've been working really hard on lots of Lord of the Rings stuff. I'm pretty sure that this is what we painted last Saturday right here. So it's another one of our cave trolls right there. And that is from Diwali. We painted 3 of those. So thank you very much, Nosferatu. Here, we'll,
So say we all.
there you go. Thank you so much, Nosferatu. Sorry that your sounds got cut off by me showing pictures. Let's see, now Nosferatu won't be able to tomorrow. Oh, yeah, well, happy Father's Day, and also, I guess, happy Father's Day, too, to all the other dads that are maybe watching near or far, because I'm sure in plenty of parts of the world it's already Sunday, so happy Father's Day. All that good stuff. Actually, I think there's another tower right over here, too. Yeah. And then this is going to end right here. And this is going to go over here. Now we have to start thinking about the top of the Tower of the Moon here, which of course I'm just looking at a very small little reference there. So we're going to get some more of our glowy stuff in the background over there. Oh, thanks, Astrovox. Well, we used to, believe it or not, long before we ever painted miniatures, for about 20 years, we did 2D art. And where's the stuff here? I'm just looking around for it. I think we've, if we passed it, yes, we have passed it. So here's some of the 2D art that we used to do back in the day. And this is actually a hot press watercolor board. So that's watercolors on hot press watercolor board. And that's also hot press watercolor board, more watercolors. Big surprise there. We got some pastels coming up here. And that's just a regular old acrylic right there. I swear I got to do that same painting again with the oils. That would be really fun to do that. This is actually something that I painted when I was 13. That was on a big old piece of masonite. Boy, I had no idea what I was doing then. We're going back to some watercolors here. These are also on the hot press watercolor board. So yeah, that's what we used to do back in the day as we welcome in Megan and Queez. Megan and Queez, how you guys doing? Happy Saturday, and hope you're having yourselves a real nice weekend as well, right? So here, you know what? Wow, this is going to be interesting. I'm wondering, I'm just grab me a whole nother brush here, because we got plenty of these darn things. That's why we have so many of them around. That is why we got so many of these darn things sitting around here. Let's see if this is going to do something right here. A little bit more of a floral green. Ah, that's what I'm looking for. Right in there. Hey, I'm a Stig. Sorry about it's like, hey, I'm a Stig. Bye, I'm a Stig. So sorry about cutting out on you so fast there. I'm just gonna soften up a few things here, and then we'll come back into these. And this is think of what we did early on as sort of more of a pre-glaze, right? More of a pre. Ooh, look at this. Look at that. See how we're able to. We left the paint alone a little bit. We're able to play with it some. We're able to mix it a little bit. Look at this. See that? It's almost like miniature paint. It's just a little bit flatter. And thank you so much, Queez. That is appreciated. Thank you very much. So armored wolf. There is ice cream for the magic shell. And it looks like we have a family bitskrieg between Megan and Queez as we welcome in Olive too. How you doing? Thanks for the birthday wishes there, Amistig. I appreciate that, as always, of course, right? So I like this, believe it or not, this is the balsa wood we're going to be using for the, oh, gee whiz, here it is. You might actually be able to see this because it's backed out a little bit. Ah, there it is. So this was our first piece of Easterling terrain. We made this on our Thursday stream. So that was just testing out mostly the roof and some of the design elements. And this is stuff that now will repeat across our entire Easterling terrain board. So yeah, we'll be getting into that too. I'm glad you're doing good there, Olive. Megan, let's put it this way. It suddenly got so warm again. Shall we say that the air leotard came back out? Yeah, there was. When it gets warm enough, it's all air leotard all the time. Yeah. Oh, look at this. A little more blendy. It's getting more blendy. Things getting softer here. So remember, we just threw paint all over the place. You can start to see. Here's our little, here's our little Nazgul dude over here, and this is going to be kind of an important edge right here, though. These are going to be the two sharpest edges. There'll be some semi-sharp edges here. So a quick little composition thing. Let me see if I can do this here with some brushes. All right, so we're going to do this. We're not making a tic-tac-toe board, I promise. All right, so, boy, that's it's not going to want to stay exactly where we want it to, but that's close enough. So see how we got these things positioned here? Should be about there, maybe. Center of interest, your focal point, right? You don't want it here. You don't want it up here or here or here or here. What you're looking for, see these 4 points right here? You want your center of interest to be somewhere along there, because that way, no matter which way you rotate this sucker, even if you put it in a mirror, it's going to be balanced, right? So as you can see, this is kind of a focal point over here, sort of anchored at this point. We could anchor it over here with this red stuff over. We could anchor it down here with a foreground character, same over there. But when you're, yeah, let's see, do we have a, yeah. Where's my pencil? So like this, you divide it like so. Those are the areas you want your center of interest to be. That's what you're looking for. Not here, definitely not there, and not in these areas because you're pulling the iron too far away or you're just trapping it in the center here. So you want to give it like this because you rotate it this way. Look, your center interest is down here. You got a nice balance. If it's sitting here, you got nothing, right? It's like a windmill. Windmills are cool, but not painting windmills. So Patik, it was the school that I went to was the American Academy of Art. Now it's basically a commercial art institution. They were prepping you to go down the street and start working at ad agencies, but now it's not so much anymore, sadly, all these years later. But when I was there, I had 2 years of watercolor class. I had 2 years of oil painting. So there was an awful lot of the traditional too, but they also pounded it into your head that, you ain't no Michelangelo, you're no Da Vinci. The ad agencies are just going to want stuff done. Do it to the best as you can and call it done, and that's it. So we were very much trained not to be artistes. We were just trained to get the job done. And that's been very handy for miniature painting, right? Because there is no making it perfect. There's just, well, that's as good as I can do. It's got to go out the door now. There is no more playing around with it. It's just, that's it. It's done. It's all good. It's going out the door now. How's about, ooh, why don't we sneak in just a smidge of orange over here? Look at these high quality tools, man. Nothing but the best on this channel. That's for sure. Yeah, look at that. Nothing but the best. Which yields us surprising results, right? Look at that. And I'm actually mixing with this stuff up here, believe it or not. It is just wet enough to be able to mix a smidge. Now, I don't want this to get too light too fast, right? And I think we'll hold it at this angle, but you can see the green. Look at this little contrast over here, right? Ooh, what do we need to do here? How's about this? Zoink. Look at that, right? Value contrast, but we also have the color contrast, the reds versus the greens. And we are also told if you can't put it this way and at least see something interesting there, then the composition's no good. If you can't put it this way and you don't know what the heck this is, but at least if it's a somewhat interesting composition, like this doesn't go all the way to the center, you notice how this is at that 1/3 mark. You see nothing's at the center line here. Nothing is there. You want this area, the area in the center, to be open like that. So Turtle Man, the interesting thing is when it comes to miniatures, it's just as critical. Where's the one we were working on yesterday? Where'd she go? Oh, there she is. So this was just as important on this figure right here. We were just painting this one last night. Obviously, your focal area is up here. There's a lot of stuff going on down here. There's fishies and all kinds of fun stuff. And I was going to put some texture on the cloak, and I said, nope, we ain't doing that. If we do that, we're going to take away too much from this. So we had to intentionally tone this down to make sure that this was that focal point that we were talking about, right? A place for the eyes to look to. Same thing back here. You see how we made this dark so that this could be lighter. So even on a miniature, focal point is important. It's almost more challenging here than here because here it's flat, right? This is 3D. You have to kind of you need a focal point that works from all perspectives, I guess, is what we're trying to say. Hey, happy heretic. Nice to see you. All right. So actually, Patik, did you hear that the War of the Rohirrim, it's not going to be animated, it's going to be anime. So yeah, Helm Hammerhand in anime. And I was trying to guess what Helm Hammerhand is going to look like in anime style. I was just like, is he going to have like the really wide, big eyes? So Big Jim, all I could think of was that one game that you were playing. I don't know if it was the summer camp or the school. It was at school, right? And it was like the girl goes to that school and there was all those crazy characters and you're kind of like narrating it. That's all I can imagine is like a Big Jim Slade Lord of the Rings anime production, but as like a video game. That's all I could think about the entire time that I'm reading about this thing. Now there's some other stuff. Again, there's a bunch of orcs that are going to be walking around here. And I think now I can get this rock in here. So also edge control. Look at this. This is not just a darker shape. Look at how hard that edge is. Soft edge, soft edge. All soft edges there. Hard edge right here. But again, look at where this is. Often it's not in the center line, right? We're moving it around. So yeah, Happy Heretic. This is kind of it's just sort of my fun birthday. I guess it's sort of a tradition. Just like how the cookie decorating streams are going to have to be kind of a tradition, I suppose, around Christmas time there, at or around Christmas time anyways. So here, what you see, we're kind of softening up some edges right there. Softening up a few edges. All right, we're going to come on back in here with a smidge more of our lighter tone. Whoops. I want to save that for the other side for that reflection. So we're going to switch this around a little bit here. Just a smidge. And I'm going to use my finger actually to blend that a little bit. And where'd you go? There you are. So this coming this way like so. So that's doing a little bit of this right here. This way, I'm just putting a marker there, right? It may get toned down. It might even get lightened up a little bit more, but it's just a marker to let me know that that's supposed to go there, right? Now we got to start generating some light in here, some actual light. Think of this as a pre-glaze. Oh, hopefully my camera is here. Unless I've misplaced it. There you are. There you are. I'm going to try and get some pictures of this along the way. Actually, I wish I had taken one a little bit earlier, but don't mind me if we just snap some pictures along the way here. Because that's pre-glaze. So when we do, you know what, this is sort of close to pre-glaze. It's sort of like what we do here, right? Before we start getting all the fancy schmancy decorative stuff, we got to do all this, right? We're putting the lattice work, this is the concrete and rebar right here that we're going to be putting all the fun stuff on afterwards, right? That's what we got to do here. All right, Olive, thanks for stopping by as long as you could. And, well, we could be going for a little while here because I didn't get started until about 6:30. So we might be going for a little while. So yeah, who knows? We might still be going when you get back. There's probably going to be a little bit of a break time. Part of it is so that I can do a little bit of munching on some of the ice cream, using some of the delicious magic shell that Armored Wolf was kind enough to send this way. All right, we got ourselves another wall that's coming up this way. So like I said, I really want to make a Minas Morgul terrain set, which is going to mean tons of, Nazguls and Orcs, and I mean, can you have enough? Seriously, can you actually have enough Nazguls and Orcs? I don't think so. I really don't think so. You know what? I might just do as well. Where the heck are you guys? Oh, I'm looking right at them here. I'm going to pull out a couple of more of these. We haven't used the new one in forever. So these are the Royal Langnickels. Again, Armored Wolf was able to find these. There's sort of some alternatives to the One True Brush. But they're like microfilberts. That's kind of how I refer to them, as microfilberts. Now I probably able to get back in. Looking forward to seeing how this scene looks. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks so much, Happy Heretic, for the birthday wishes. Yeah, Armored Wolf and Kathy, they really came up with some very fun things for my birthday. And especially this, right? We mentioned this several times during the Saturday broadcast, and this is when we were painting our Dauntless here. I think, was this last set? No, this was 2 Saturdays ago. Yeah, this was 2 Saturdays ago. So take a look at that plane, and believe it or not, I was almost going to paint this one. So that one right there, I do believe that's McCluskey's plane right there. But I think you recognize the markings there. So yeah, that is, it was from the Battle of Midway right there. And if you watch the cookie decorating stream, you'll also see a Dauntless cookie. I'm not kidding. Every year, I do an SBD Dauntless cookie. I also do a B17. I also do an ME262. I have done a B29 in past years. All right, now here's a couple of ways to make sharper edges. And here's one of them. Sharp edge again, right? Directional brush strokes. We talk about these on miniatures. Well, guess what? They're a bazillion times more important with 2D art, right? So yes, the one true brush and Armored Wolf. I mean, Armored Wolf is on top of everything, right? So yeah, Armored Wolf found some new one true brush descendants, and they are very handy. So see how we just everything's starting to get more of a, as we used to say in the family here, a vertisantal look. I don't quite remember when that became a thing in Wappelville, but yeah, vertisantal became a word in Wappelville. I think we're going to have to start using that more on stream as well because, it's going to drive some grammar nuts nuts. I guess that's what we kind of live to do anyways. Going to get some more of our light down in here. And you can see this, the light actually changes. Some of it is a bit more of the fluorescent green. Some of it's a little bit less. Some of it's got more of the blue in it. Now this, now that I got a million brushes spread out all over the place, it's going to be a little bit of perline black, which is our very dark green. See how we use this little bit of a scumbling brush stroke right there? And then we'll just grab something that we can use here to, oh, what the heck, we have a bazillion of these things. I'll just use that to do a little bit of mixing right there. Let's see. So thanks, Patik, for posting the link for our European brethren there. And again, for all the folks that are here from Europe, I welcome all of you. Because believe it or not, I want to say that at least 60% of our audience is from Europe. So I really want to say thank you because your support is really important. And I know you guys just absolutely love your miniature painting. Look at this. Look what we're doing now. Starting to fill some things out here. Big old circular brush strokes. It's almost like Bob Ross with his happy tree brush, right? Because pound for pound, considering the size we're working on here, that's like a Bob Rossian sized brush, right? Wouldn't you say? All right, a little bit of Nazgul-y stuff going on right about here, I want to say. I'm just going to start to, let's get his neck a little bit more of an arch to it there. Bit more of his chest here. Okay, wing there, and another wing, and now back this way. Now we are putting a little more thinner where we might want this to be a bit sharper of a line, right? And it's also another case of thick over thin and vice versa. If it's going to be important in 3D, it's sure as heck going to be important in 2D, right? Hey, Valfira, it's And it was meant to. Seriously. You would have teachers just prowling the room, and if they saw you just kind of fiddling around in one area, they were on you. They were on you faster than a fly on a little bit of a pancake right there, shall we say. Now I'm just going to fade that out too. Again, I can use my finger on that too. Oh yeah, so Armored Wolf has alerted me. I knew we were getting close to the 5K mark as far as followers go. So for all the folks that have followed, I just want to say thank you very much. That is appreciated. And of course, we're going to need our Witch King riding on the Nazgul right there. I guess that wing should go the other direction. That's right. So that's pretty cool. I had no idea what to expect from Twitch when we first started this thing here. Had no idea what to expect. Everybody's been super helpful, supportive, and of course Armored Wolf has been really vital in that role. That's why we also want to make sure that we support Armored Wolf as much as we can. So if you could please check out Armored Wolf's Etsy page, also Armored Wolf's Instagram, and see what kind of amazing works of art that Armored Wolf produces. So that paint is thinner right there. But you see, look, it still covers. And that's not an opaque paint, right? Because your darker colors, they are not opaque. Yet still, it covers, right? That's kind of neat, I think. All right, let's get to some of our in between here. Do I want to? No, I want a little bit more of a yellowish glow on that. So let's grab some of this here. You know what? I might just go a little more yellow. Yeah, that gets me just a smidge more towards yellow. Back to our brilliant yellow pale. And this kind of has to get lost in here. That's the other neat thing about these brushes is you can use them like a chisel edge here. Now, of course, we don't want that cadmium red on there. So let's do that again. There we are. Get a little more thinner on there. And we're talking just a smidge, just a tiny little bit of thinner, just something to get that brush going. We'll let the paint flow a little bit smoother. Now, if that had been gessoed, it would have been a little bit different story. But I was kind of hoping not to gesso that, so that maybe we'd also get a little faster drying time out of it. And I do think we're going to get that. Now, I don't necessarily want all the green out that way. We'll just have a little more green show up over here. Let that mix again. I think it needs to come out this way just a smidge further. Yeah. You don't want lines of things to suddenly end like there's some magic thing that, oh my gosh, we're getting to the edge of the paper. We gotta stop. We can't keep going to the edge of the paper. It's like, no, you gotta run it off the edge of the paper too. I will let a little bit more of my green work its way down here. Like so. And I do think I want something dark that intersects across this. And it's also going to be, we're going to change this up here. It's actually going to have, oh, look at this, a little bit of asphaltum in it. it's going to actually be warmer. So we're going to be changing this up a little bit here. Just trying to see what in the world might that. Oh, that's a Nazgul right there. But I think instead we might have ourselves another banner that just kind of sits right here. Something like that, like a little bit of a banner there. And some more of our orkies here. Maybe a whole bunch of banners. Something like that over here in the corner. Again, just to provide ourselves another little bit of a structural element here. So your vast host with the most walking around here. Got your spear points and pikes and everything else and halberds. Who knows what other kind of fun things they've got. Ready to come along and start poking some Gondalorians. And a little bit of a blending brush time here. I'm going to find that brush that just went flying to the floor. See that? There we go. So now we're getting level after level after level here. Brander, how you doing? Nice to see you here. Thanks for joining us on one of our, well, it's kind of our second annual birthday 2D art bash. But this is being called Landscapes in Middle Earth because, you know, we do a little bit of Lord of the Rings stuff on this channel. I mean, just a little, you know, not too much, just every so often, right? Every so often, maybe once in a while, we do something that might have a hint of a Lord of the Rings theme. You know, not much, just every now and then, right? Hopefully we don't drive folks too nuts with too much Lord of the Rings stuff. I kind of enjoy it, so well, that's why we end up having quite a bit of it here. So Nixel, what kind of actually are you still playing Valheim at all, Nixel? Actually, oh, Big Jim, are you still playing Valheim too? It just seems like I don't know if people aren't playing it anymore because they kind of played it out and they're not really interested, or are they waiting for like the final version at this point or something? It just I don't see so much going on with the Valheim anymore. I'm not up on what all the kids are doing, so I just was a little curious about that. Yep, Brander, we're doing a little bit of Minas Morgul here, just to have ourselves some fun, a little Saturday fun in Minas Morgul. Now, I also have images from, you know, the Lonely Mountain. I've got Lothlorien. I've got obviously your Hobbit type images. We've got ourselves, let's see, some Mordor. I mean, of course, you got Mordor, right? I mean, geez, why wouldn't you have Mordor stuff too? All right, here, I'm just going to darken this down. So I'm just going to plop this color on here, and we'll just, I don't know, find something to mix with here. Whatever's on here, I don't know. Doesn't matter to me. Consider it a blending brush. There we go. So softer edge, right? Hard edges, softer edges. A little off and on, waiting on a new update. The online server is down, but playing locally. Okay, yeah, because I mean, it was just nothing but it was Valheim all the time. I mean, it was like 24 hours a day Valheim, and then all of a sudden, boom, no more Valheim. And I wasn't sure if something had happened, like people just weren't interested in the game, or you know, some folks that like to just kind of find the big bad guy, kill him, and say, all right, what's next? Whereas, you know, some other folks, they like to just sort of build their world, right? Because that's kind of At least it seemed to me. That's Valheim. You could do an awful lot of building and maybe never run across, well, maybe not any of the bad guys, but not have to fight all of them, basically. Boy, Armored Wolf. Let me see if we can find Sticky Wicket here. Because we painted him with miniature paints at Games Day. He's around here. Oh, is this? Nope, that's not him. There he is. So yeah, that's Sticky Wicket. We painted him in, well, not just acrylics. We painted him in miniature paint at Games Day on a piece of illustration board just like this. And I think you can recognize like the different planes, right? You have the foreground, middle ground, background, farthest background. It's kind of, it's very similar to what we're doing here, isn't it? But man, like you say, Armored Wolf, it would have been so much easier to do in the oils because all of this mixing I'm able to do, just like nothing. Oh, it's really sweet. Absolutely having a blast with this here. So I think I'm going to keep going with my clouds here and actually let that, just like we were talking about, right? Let it run off the board. Oh, there's actually lightning here. Okay, that's what we're looking at. It's not the moon. It's like lightning and stuff. All right, that's okay. Well, I'm not going to put that stuff in until the very end, that's for sure. But now I see what that's supposed to be. At first I was thinking that it was like moonlight or whatever. I know for a friend of mine who basically got me to start playing Lord of the Rings, he was working on a Minas Morgul force, and he basically had a banner with Minas Morgul. Oh, it was the moon, right? Because this was the Tower of the Moon, and he had on it was a picture of the Tower of the Moon, and the whole idea was that they were taunting Gondor with that. Ah, Cinder, how you doing? So Armor Wolf, of course I was looking at the data. I think it was 2009. I think that's what the date was on that. But I guess the last Games Day was in 2011, huh? For some reason, I thought the last Games Day was in 2010. We're gonna get in here with some of our other darker, some black and such things, but now I need to also start thinking about some banners here too, and some more orkies walking around here. And again, if we want to have a sharper edge there, all we got to do is just throw some thinner on that brush, and guess what? Now it's looking a bit sharper now. So Cinder, yeah, we started a little bit later. Actually, it's not as much later as I'm thinking. Technically, it really was only about 2 hours later than we've been starting on Saturday. Uh, it just, for obvious reasons, there was being the birthday occasion and stuff. Now I'm starting to feel the verticality of this, the vertical nature of these walls here. Yeah, now I'm starting to see that. All right, we want this to come across this way. So here, let's and you know what? Ironically enough, this is one of our regular blending brushes. So guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some blending with one of our regular blending brushes. Get more vertical stuff here. Because there's something sinister about vertical. I don't know what it is. I mean, even though, Gothic architecture, everything like that, your Gothic cathedrals, those are a lot of verticality there. But somehow going vertical is evil. I don't know. I think it's not fair to vertical stuff. Because verticals should have a chance to shine as well. Vertical is just upward diagonal. We'll call it that. Vertizontal is upward diagonal. You know what? I'm gonna go with a little black spinel here too. Yeah, bring it in there. And now I'm gonna try and get even some more lights back in here in our. They're vertically challenged. Yes, Commander Mark. That's why I always, when people say that I'm crazy or insane, I say, well, we don't like labels here. We don't like labels. I like to say that I am sanity challenged. So to me, that is the appropriate way to describe Wappelville right here, that we are sanity challenged. Yeah, you know, I'm going to get maybe a little bit more of a thinner in there. More thinner we have. Look at these nice long brush strokes that we can do here. So what are we? An hour into this, right? Seriously. Is it any different than what we do with the miniatures when you think about it? Is it really all that different? I just don't think it is. Now you see why I do the pre-glaze, that stuff that you see me doing on the miniatures. You really get to see why we do that kind of stuff now, don't you? And that was, there was another reason why I wanted to do this kind of stuff for you on stream, because I do have YouTube videos where I'm painting in 2D art, and it's important, I think, for folks to see that, because you kind of now get an idea of the why, because I can show you the what and the hows as much as I can, but until you get a little taste of the why, and not the YMCA, but until you get a little taste of that, it's just going to be a little more mysterious. Maybe this takes away some of the mystery here. Maybe we'll do another little tower over here. That can actually have a get a darker side to that. So I think we'll just go like this. Yeah, something like that. And we'll a smidge of light here. Like that. So we just ghosted in a tower back there. Ah, see that? Ghosted in a tower of Minas Morgul. Ah, look what we did there. That's what you call linguism. Yeah, that's word crafting right there. That is +1 word craft. Let's see. That's like saying I'm late to something when I'm actually a time wizard and I just temporarily displaced Commander Mark. Where's my other? Oh, there you are. And now here, I'm just going to throw this is a little bit of a dry brushing of some dark there. So again, just the hint of a tower back there, right? You know, I think I can actually turn up my brightness now that we have some of our darker tones in there. Yeah, that's working. So again, we got some edge contrast here. We got color contrast, right, between these two. We've got some brightness over there. We got lots of fun stuff going on. Where's my... Oh, there you are. I'm going to grab this puppy here. And we're going to throw ourselves a bit of muted darker green right there. Yeah. Can hear the sound of that kind of grinding against that, right? I might just darken this down a little too. But it's very much a dry brush. You think I only use dry brush on miniatures? This here's a regular painting. Guess what we're doing? We're doing ourselves some dry brush, aren't we? Ah, Dave, how you doing? So this is definitely some Minas Morgul right here. So you have your Tower of the Moon right here, right? Got yourself a little Nazgul there, some orky goodness over there. You got your sickly green glow happening, all that fun stuff. And we're gonna have there's some lightning coming out of this here too. I didn't know what it was, and then I realized, oh, that is supposed to be lightning apparently. But now we'll get some strong darks in here. The Commander Mark, I think the guys that live there, they like to call it the West Side. Yeah, they're big into the West Side. They're not huge fans of the East Siders at all. It's very much a West Side, East Side sort of thing. And then of course, the guys up north, they're like the most pretentious. Those guys up north, they're in oh, whatchamacallit, out there in the Angmar. Oh, gee, they're so pretentious in Angmar. Good grief, holy smokes! They are just so full of themselves up there. They are not down to earth at all. Dolgodur, they kind of, who knows? But boy, in Angmar, they are just so full of themselves. Hey, Thranuel, how you doing? Hey, pun expected. Boy, pun expected. Sorry I didn't get a chance to hang out in your stream. I saw that you were live there, but we were really trying to get ready for this, and it took a little effort. Oh, look at that. Nice soft edge right there, huh? So this is usually, it's kind of like the new annual birthday Jim gets to paint in 2 dimensions stream. We remove a dimension on my birthday. We subtract a dimension. So what was the thing that we painted last year here? Here it is. So I painted this on my birthday last year. Now this was just acrylic paints, but it was just miniature paints. This was a birthday present for somebody. I actually gave it to him literally about 8 hours after that thing was painted. So it's kind of a birthday tradition to get to paint something in 2D. And well, today we are painting landscapes in Middle Earth. Boy, pun expected. I thought so. I thought so. Boy, pun expected. Have your computers been driving you absolutely bonkers? Because boy, those updates have just killed everybody. I know they made things mayhem here, and I guess what I'm trying to say is you weren't missing anything because it was like practically impossible to try and stream without something weird happening to your computer. And I mean something really funky. So Happy Heretic, didn't we say it was a different thing now instead of being 29 years? Because how many thousands of years did we celebrate 29? I think we determined that we'd have to change that up a little bit, and I think now it's we're celebrating 30. I think for the next couple of millennium we're going to celebrate 30, right? Because 30 is the new 29, at least for us here in Wappelville. Yeah, so I'm going to darken that one down a smidge. So Patik, thank you so much for hanging out. And well, hopefully we can see you Monday. And it just seems like, I guess, Monday is, at least for the time being, going to be Armada Mondays. So I guess we might be painting more Armada ships on Monday. That is if I can get them all prepped. If I can get another couple of ships prepped on Monday, we'll try and continue our Armada Monday. And I'm not going to say that 10 times fast either, because my brain is too fried for saying that 10 times fast. Yeah, I think, I don't know, did we determine that on the last birthday stream? Wow, I think we might have determined that on the last birthday stream. I could be wrong, but I think so. Yeah, I think that's when it was determined, the last birthday stream. We would just start to celebrate 30 from now on. Because we've been doing 29 for a long, long time. Because like we said earlier, people asked what the age was, and Just for the protection of people's sanity, we said we just can't divulge that because the number is just too large and incomprehensible. It can cause instant madness in humans. So yeah, humans' minds, they are not quite designed to comprehend the incomprehensible like that. I'm gonna when in doubt, go darker, right? I'll make this darker before I fool around lightening things up back here. So let's just go a little darker first. And then maybe we can play around with making stuff lighter. I'm just going to take whatever the heck's sitting on that brush right there. Let it mix in here. And all this, once again, is all about controlling edges. I better have me a soft edge over here. If I'm going to have all this sharp stuff going on, better have me some soft edges. Now, I am making a little bit of a change from a reference picture there, which is right down here where my thumb is. Yeah, Nosferatu. I think it might have been actually last Monday when just maybe absent-mindedly, which is like for me 100% of the time, it's always absent. The brain here is always AWOL. It is never present. It's always AWOL. I'm going to play around here with just a couple of puffs of orange there. Back over here, a little bit of fanchon red. Come out, there we go. So a little bit of fires of Mordor back there. See, that's why they don't like the East Siders, because the West Siders are very cool, right? They're chill, they're cool. The East Siders, they're just like always like setting stuff on fire. They are not chill at all. Nosferatu, it is super wibbly wobbly, super timey wimey. Now, if it was timey whiny, that would be good because that would indicate yummy spirits of some kind. But fortunately, Armored Wolf was kind enough to send some very wonderful ciders this way. So we have been enjoying some of that. That is much appreciated. So yeah, we're just going to lighten that tower. So look at that. It just gives it a little something back there. And I think we'll do the same out here. We're just going to indicate that maybe there's some other buildings or whatever beyond this. However, throw a little bit of indigo into that to change it. Because we would like our greenish glow to be focused more in Minas Morgul itself. Dave, it's kind of interesting because, well, when I was in art school, that's everybody's dream was two things: movie promo posters or illustrating D&D books. Those were the two, that was the holy grail of everybody that was in our school. Absolutely everybody. Or to be a comic book artist. Now, I don't know if gosh, I just have spaced on his name, but he does a whole bunch of, he's one of the big artists. I think he's in the Marvel universe, but he was in our class at the academy. He didn't just go to the same school as us. He was in our class at the academy. And he's one of the few people along with me that still does art for a living. Other folks, they might have done art for a little while, but there's just a handful of folks that were in my class, as in like 3 of us, who I know that are still making our living with art after all these years. But that was definitely something everybody wanted to be doing, was movie posters. Hey, Puddle Muddle, nice to see you back. And Nosferatu, again, thanks for all those gift subs. And my apologies for messing with your sound there, just showing pictures and stuff. I didn't mean to cut that off. I think we're going to get some more orkies over here. Get that same brush again. Here, we're going to have some of our spear points and armors and such. Maybe some shields, whatever. More poles and armor. And I think we're going to also cut that edge right there. So we have more of these edges, so we get more and more of our depth here. Oh, that perline black. I knew that I was going to have some fun with the perline black. Oh, by the way, we used our fluorescent green in here. Yeah, it's not like I haven't used the equivalent of fluorescent paint in watercolors in 2 dimensions before. It's definitely been done before by me, anyways. Certainly have done that. Okay, so there, another instance where this sort of a hard edge here makes that edge be heading to the backdrop there, to the background, I should say. Mishka, nice to see you. Sorry, and thanks for the happy birthday there, Dark Denison. I appreciate that. I was gonna do these fighting fantasy books in black ink illustration. You went to work in Hollywood doing stills for pre-production. Yeah, Mishkun, I think Treebeard's gonna say, like you said, like you just said, everybody smells like an orc in this one, right? RM Bano, how are you doing? Thank you so much for oh, and thanks for the first time chatting. That's appreciated. Actually, Dave, believe it or not, one of my lore videos that I watched, well, there was a couple of interesting titles. Basically, one was, do orcs go to heaven? Could orcs ever go west? Were there ever any good orcs? And then the other question was, were there any female orcs? Because how were orcs bred? They weren't just grown like a fungus, they were sort of created. So it's a little, basically they said, well, it's kind of sketchy. Uh, Tolkien never really imagined that people want to know, like, how do orcs get born? So I don't. He never really got so specific on that. Oh, thanks so much, Arambino. Yeah, this is sort of our annual. It's our annual birthday stream where we take away 1 dimension, right? We go from 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions down to 2. Now here again, we're using some of our thinner here, and that allows me to get some of these nifty little nice tight lines right here. Nice sharp shapes. Some wings there. And of course, yeah, if this is going to be the Witch King here, we could, in theory, I'm just going to play with something right here. Just do a little something like that. Because this is not in the picture, at least not the reference that I've been using, but yeah, maybe something like that where he's got his oh, look, it balances now, huh? See, it balances there. Well, Dave, it kind of makes sense when you read about his life and his experiences and such. It sort of makes sense. When you read that, you say, "Oh, all right," because his mentor was Bill Alexander, and Bill Alexander was definitely a landscape guy. He was a landscape guy. Now he did also paint portraits. Well, I don't know if you know the story of Bill Alexander, because that was my That was my hero growing up when I was a little kid. That was Bill Alexander, and he was captured in North Africa, and he went to a prison camp in the U.S. and he basically was able to get the camp commandant to sort of be buddies with him by doing paintings of his family, and that's where he learned to speak English. And I do think it was The Joy of Painting by Bill Alexander. So you can still watch his stuff too. But Bob Ross started working with him, and he was Bob Ross's mentor. And Bob Ross basically kind of learned the Bill Alexander method. But Bill Alexander, he was a little more, boom, fire in that color, fire in that color. And Bob Ross, as you know, he had more the mellow, very chill approach. So after a certain point, that's kind of when he went off on his own because he wanted to do more of that sort of chill approach and not quite the a little less paint screeg and a little bit more just chill painting. Here, I don't know. I think we do a little bit of each. There's a little bit of paint screeg, but then there's also there's some chill too, I think. So we're like we're like Bill Ross. we're, we're a combo of we're an amalgam. We're a golem. That's what we are. We're a paint golem of those two. Oh yes, that's right, Arambana. Yes. My God, how could I forget that? How could I forget that? But the interesting thing is that, of course, my parents just got me, cheap acrylic paints because I was like 12. No, I was 11. I think I was 10 or 11 or something like that. So they just got me some cheap acrylic paints, and I think that's when I was 12. I think that's when they started getting me some oil paints. Again, they weren't going to be super high quality oil paints there. And then, of course, they really dreaded that or regretted that when I took my brush that was loaded with some kind of almost like a phthalo green or whatever and whacked it against the edge of my desk to try and get all the paint out of it, which meant, of course, there were paint spatters all over the wall. I got to tell you, they absolutely loved that. They were huge fans of that. In the UK, you had your own Bob Ross type TV show. It's called Painting with Nancy, hosted by American painter Nancy Kaminsky. Dave, they might have shown that here because when TV first went digital, I don't know, 2005, no, 2006, 2007, something like that. They uh, they actually had a whole bunch more of those type of programs, and that name sounds familiar. At least Nancy does. So we might have actually seen that person. So I'm just gonna put some spikes here along the back of this, just cause reasons, right? So now we're starting to get in some of our darker color here, starting to bring out some of our shapes a little bit more. Let's see. So yeah, I think I know who you're talking about there. I might have even seen her show. Again, very gentle right there. Okay, and we'll fade that too a little bit. And now, let's see if we can't take some of that green, cast that this way just a little bit. So again, edges, right? Constantly looking for edges. Light being bounced around in every which direction. We got Stompy in here too. Stompy, welcome back. I hope this is not too weird for folks. I know the people that are used to me doing miniature painting and all that kind of stuff. I realize this is very different, but one of the reasons I wanted you to see this is because this is very much how we approach our miniature painting. To me, this is just a two-dimensional miniature as opposed to a miniature being a three-dimensional painting. The pre-glaze is the same. We're literally using the same fluorescent green that we used in our Army of the Dead right here. The same stuff. We're using a lot of the same colors, in fact, that we used on this, maybe minus some of the blues, right, from the water stuff. But yeah. Oh, and by the way, we're probably going to do, I might just film a special video with the water effects that we're going to add when this thing is dry. I think that would make a nice video. It's not going to be terribly long, but it might make an interesting video too. We got DiMarino. DiMarino, how the heck you doing? Oh, DiMarino, look what Armored Wolf sent. Look at this. Yeah, baby. Armored Wolf sent me this. Yeah, that is extra cool. I've only wanted that for a long, long, long time. And Kathy gave me this too for my birthday. So I think this is my fourth or fifth Sabatone album, which is very cool. Thanks, Hippie Heretic. I didn't realize that people did things like birthday streams. When I first started doing Twitch, I had no idea what I had no clue whatsoever what people did for streams or uh, the birthday streams or the like the special little stream anniversary, right? Like what the heck is a stream anniversary? I'll never forget the first time I saw one of those and I'm like, what is that? People said, well, yeah, they've been streaming for a year. It's like, oh, well, okay. Didn't know. I'm gonna see here if we can't play around with a little something here. Let's see if we can't make ourselves a nice little dude here. Give him some legs there. More of a body there. And then another banner right here. And a couple more of our orky guys here. Let's see, we got, again, he's going to be walking here. This is, boy, this reminds me of some of my, I used to paint cityscapes too, in addition to things like seascapes and stuff. So this is reminding me, but it's really taking me back. It is definitely taking me back. Ah, Loim, how you doing? And welcome to Middle Earth, right, Loim? Is this not incredible? So Loim, how do you feel about an anime feature film featuring Helm Hammerhand? Since I'm, you might, I don't know very much about anime at all. All kidding aside, like the only anime I've ever seen anything of is, and I don't even know if the space battleship Yamato even counts, like Star Blazers. But other than that, it was Girls und Panzers. So I don't know how you feel about that. Really high gloss varnish. Happy Heretic, maybe either maybe a MiG ammo or I think Badger might have some. Or AK Interactive maybe might have something like that. Yeah, so Loim, which are you more confident about? The Amazon series or this? Now, the reason why I have some confidence in this is because you have way more New Line Cinema folks on it. Like Kelly, what's her name? Or Pippa, whatever. who did a lot of the adaptations of the movie stuff. I guess she's supposed to have a big role in this, so that gives me a little more confidence than the Amazon thing. Also, so Star Blazers counts as anime. Okay, I just I wasn't sure if that was kind of like bourgeois anime, if there is such a thing. Can anime be bourgeois? I don't know. So Commander Mark, I hope that you're still really excited with yourself about getting those 36 Marines painted there. Yeah, so Happy Heretic, even like I said, Badger, MiG ammo, AK could have some good stuff there. Yeah, Happy Heretic, was it 2 years ago, I think, when it first sort of leaked that Amazon was doing the thing. I was all excited about it because it also meant the return of the king, as in Lord of the Rings SPG. To me, that was the big cool thing, is it meant that was coming back. But just 2 years later, obviously there's been one or two things going on in the world that might have caused some problems with it. Okay, that's cool, Commander Mark. I know you're waiting on some more colors, right? And the Shadows of Mordor games were, yeah. Oh, Loim. There was another lore video that I watched where I learned something. Oh, it was about the origins of the Mayer, right? The origins of Shadowfax. That basically Shadowfax didn't let Gandalf. He wasn't gonna let anybody ride him, but Gandalf took 3 days to tame Shadowfax. But in the course of that, they became friends, and he was actually in the possession of Theoden. But when he freed Theoden from the grip of Wormtongue, Theoden said, "You can take anything in my kingdom except my sword," and Gandalf said, "Shadowfax." And actually, this lore video was basically trying to figure out how fast Shadowfax was, and they were just comparing the travels of the Nazgul to the travels of Shadowfax, and they just said this horsey was fast. So Commander Mark is indeed waiting on those other colors. So again, we're just trying to find some of our lights here. We might even do a little smidge of some side highlighting here on our orcses, right, to bring some of that highlighting all the way over to here. Just a smidge of it, maybe. Why? I guess it's not the moonlight. It's lightning, actually. That's what we're looking at over there. And I think if we were to give this also a little bit of that same light coming down this way, could be fun. This is not straight up white, by the way. It is by no means straight up white. We can also have this look at a little bit more like a host with the most right there, right? If we put a little bit of lights on our spear points. All right, there. Oh, so Loim, as far as the orcs that would have marched out of Minas Morgul, let's see, they wouldn't have been, well, they wouldn't have been Blackguard of Barad-dûr. Would orcs marching out of Minas Morgul have been, would they have been more like basically Mordor Uruk-hai, would you say? Yeah, like Dave says, it's a place where life is cheap and the weather is bad. It's definitely always, it sure is not sunny. in Mordor, is it? Unless you count like volcanic ash. Let's see, since there is some more oils coming today. Oh, some bleached titanium, and then I hope I got the right brilliant yellow pale. Brilliant yellow pale for sure. Here we go. Here we go. Brilliant yellow pale. Bam, look at that. I guess we're going to have to get some more of this because, well, the reason why most of it is gone is because of all the color charts that we do. That is one. Well, the white and the brilliant yellow pale. Those are basically in every single color chart that we do, for obvious reasons. They're pretty much in every single painting that we do. So how would they also not end up in every single color chart too? So again, just trying to figure out some nice, fun backlighting on these guys here. Orcs of Mordor rather than the large Uruk-hai or the smaller Misty Mountains. Yeah, that same person also did a size comparison, and one of the things they said was the reason why Sam and Frodo didn't necessarily stand out so much is because, like you say, those orcs weren't big. They were not even like your regular orcs were still smaller than human size, at least according to his size comparison. He had your standard orc only about 5'5" or something like that. And even the Uruk-hai were maybe about 6 feet tall. I think it was something along those lines. Now, of course, and the guy said too, he's like, look, there's people in the same family. Well, even in mine, my mom must have been like 5'2" at a certain point, and my dad was 6 foot tall, and basically almost every one of us was around 6 feet tall. My sisters were much taller. My one brother was slightly, is maybe about 5'10" or 5'9" or something like that. Other than that, the only person that was that height was my mom. Everybody else was taller. So you can definitely have varying heights, right? Even in the same family, so to speak. Now here, do I want to go darker still? I might throw in some more darks here, and I think we'll go with some of our Van Dyke brown here. I wanted these edges to have a little more craggy edges here, if we can. Yeah, something along those lines. Same thing here. Definitely more, well, vertical, right? We want to have some more verticality to these cliffs here, I think. So let's do something like this. Okay, creating almost something a little bit more like a bit of a valley there. And back in this way. A little bit of blending there. Yeah, so even here, we can't just have a flat thing. Just like here, shape, shape, another shape behind it. This behind that behind that. Everything is layers. It's like a birthday cake. It's like a birthday cake, just with paint. All right, RM, we'll see you back in a little bit. You enjoy dinner there. I'm gonna go a little bit darker on this too. No, I'm going to soften that up again. So yeah, this is just this is ghosted in. There's very little shape there. It's just a hint of a dome and the hint of this. All it is. Anything more than that is going to be too much, I think. And this, I think I'm also going to darken up a smidge more. And then we'll blend that a little bit. There we go. That wall, I just think it needed to be, yeah, it needs to even be lighter. Let's see if we can do that here. And we've been using, again, the same fluorescent green that we were using last night. We don't have the fluorescent blue out here, but we do have the same fluorescent green. Oh, I also have the Argonath. That was another picture I was thinking about doing. Well, we'll see what we can get to tonight. Now, I don't have to do them all right here. We don't want to exhaust all the landscapes of Middle Earth on the very first one, right? I think I need to... Yeah, we're going to just bring in some more light here. It makes more sense. I was trying not to do that, but I think we just kind of have to here. Because that wall wasn't coming forward. It was almost staying behind the other one. That makes much more sense now. Yeah, much more sense. And again, these long striations, it kind of also gets that staining look, right? Where, because they put this metal on there and then it started to stain all of the stone and everything. See, Happy Heretic, haven't we been talking about that with the oils, right? The best thing about the oils is that it gets through that pile of unpainted plastic stuff. What does that mean? It means you can buy more miniatures. It means guilt-free purchases, right? You can buy miniatures virtually guilt-free because you know you're going to finish them. There's an advertising slogan right there. You want to never feel guilty about buying miniatures again? Just paint with oils. You'll never feel guilty about buying miniatures. Yes, it's perfect. It can't miss. Can't possibly go wrong. So it's perfect. Yes. If you paint with oils, you'll be able to buy more miniatures. You won't feel guilty, right? Because yeah, it's like, I'll paint them in a week. Means I can. So what? I buy the Dominion box. I break out the oils. Like in 2 days, it's all painted. Means that I can buy the next Warcry warband. It's like, so I want to subscribe to that Patreon. Oh man, I'll never get all those miniatures painted. It's like, yeah, wait a minute. I'm using oils. They'll all get painted. Subscribe away. Now, you won't have any money left, but fortunately, oils don't cost a lot, right? They're like the cheapest paint ultimately, especially when you're painting that much stuff. So look, it's all winning. You can't lose. Hey, Rex, how you doing? Oh, geez, Happy Heretic. I think it should be a t-shirt. I think it should be a shirt. I bought this mini guilt-free because I paint with oils. I'm not quite sure, well, if there's any sort of graphic that could go with that outside of just the tube of oil paint, but that it makes me chuckle either way. Robosh and Roger, how you doing? Thanks, Roger. Aside from this being the birthday thing where we take away one dimension and just go with 2 dimensions, this is very handy for folks to see the how miniature painting translates to this and how this translates to miniature painting. Because seriously, I mean, this is how we paint the miniatures. It's the same color, it's the same brushes, it's the same everything. The only thing that's different is that this just happens to be 2 dimensions and the other one is not. And I think, where's I might just use this to, can you see this? Yes, you can. Look at this. Just pull those lines down a little bit, and now thin some of this paint out. We can start to maybe even put some windows in the tower. Just gonna try and ghost in some small windows right there. Where's my, oh, here it is. It's already Just waiting for me to use it. Okay, again, so we've got our lightning going this way. What about these here clouds? I want to see if we can soften those clouds up a smidge. So, Robosh, I hope that you've been having yourself a really good Saturday. And for those folks where it's Sunday already, happy Sunday. And I suppose that that also means happy Father's Day too. So again, a happy Father's Day to folks too that are out there, for all the dadses and stuff. So we wanted to do a spacescape or something like that. Guess what? We'd be doing the same darn thing. Now here, I'm gonna put in a little bit more of a bluish tone here than was in the reference thing. But that's just indigo blue. That's not Prussian blue or cobalt. That's just indigo right there. Why? Because I'm trying to sneak some of this blue all the way over here. See that? Why? Because if the red ends here and the blue ends here, that's what you call a little bit of a disturbing tangent right there. You don't want that. And if you remember, where's our little example thing here? Here we go. So remember our little composition example? You divide it into these 9 bits like that. These are the areas where you want your center interest. Not here, not here, not there, not inside any of these things, but where these 4 points. Those are what you're looking for. So where do we have some of our interest points here? There's, they're all outside of it. Nothing's really going on in the center. I mean, literally right here, that's it. That's all you got in the center, nothing else. So Nixel talking about the rule of thirds. There's a couple of neat things. Even some of your Mayan temples and pyramids and such. It was that golden ratio that they used. There was another, I think it was something like, and this was on another documentary that I saw. Of course, hopefully I haven't lost my pencil right here. No, I have not. So I think you had a tower like this. And what they did was they went like this, and then that was the next tower. So they basically drew an arc. No, they drew it. This is what it was. They went something like this, and that's what gave them the next. So basically, it was something that kind of kept each tower in proportion with the other. It didn't matter how tall they were all in proportion to each. Oh, that's what they took this. That's what it was. So here, let's do this again. So you got a tower like so. They took this, and they basically added this much to it. That was another tower. Then they do the same thing, just they would add that much to it. So if they wanted a tower that was much taller than this one, they just did this 2 or 3 times. And that basically this tower was in proportion to this one. So that was the kind of the little bit of magic they did there too. That was very fun. Let's see. Yeah, Happy Heretic. Love us some of this indigo blue, right? And it's just mixed with a little bit of the white. Look, we're going to extend it all the way over to here. And you don't think this is a dry brush? Look at how dry that brush is. Dry brush ain't just for miniatures, right? It's for paintings too. It's for everything. And look, the one true brush, right? It's just, it's all magic. It's all just magic. Now this is where we wanted to have a bit more of our lightning over here. Using that same, see how we're just kind of pushing the brush like that? Same type of brush stroke there. And it's almost time to see, do I have enough? I'm going to play around a little more blending over here. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Let's lighten this up. Ironically enough, I want to lighten that a little bit so that the wings stand out through that lighter point. So here, let's lighten this up. I don't care if it wipes out the wings there. I can draw that back in a few seconds. That's no big deal. Don't care about that. And I apologize if maybe I'm shaking the camera here. All right, that works. Now let's see if we can get ourselves some lightning going on here. Might even let a little smidge of Prussian blue get into that. All right, here goes nothing. Now this does have some thinner in it, I have to say. And this won't be all that different than what we do, say, with our marble type effects. I'm just going to pop a little bit of that right there. All right, so a little lightning right there. The Robosh, thank you so much for the birthday wishes. It has been a really, I gotta say, it's been a nice birthday there. Armored Wolf and Cat, everybody has been super nice. And it's been, I have to say, it's been one of the nicer birthdays that I can remember in years now. So, and last year was pretty fun too. But this one has been especially neat, I have to say. Then we look at a little lightning sneaking its way through. And I just want to thank everybody that's been a part of really making it kind of a special type day. I mean, who doesn't want that? But it's particularly fun, especially when you just you're so busy doing other stuff, and you just kind of all of a sudden, oh my gosh, it's that day, and then some special things come along and happen. That is really cool. I'm gonna maybe try and gently brush in a little bit more of a cloud right here. See this circular brush stroke that I'm using? See how it also kind of blends this a little bit? So we do the same thing on the miniatures. It is no different than what we do on the miniatures. But here I need to kind of close off that cloud right there so that the lightning was kind of coming from behind it. There, that's better. Again, it's all this sort of circular type of a brush stroke here. And we're going to also tone down that lightning because it's getting awful close to that brighter point. So boy, if folks remember what this thing looked like just like an hour and a half ago, sure didn't look like this, did it? Did not look like that whatsoever. It's the same thing with their miniatures. You have to basically be willing to have them look not so nifty for a little while so that they can look really great forever. See that? I'd almost make that into another Book of Wappel chapter, but we have like 3 other chapters that pretty much say the same thing. Like, it must be messy before it can be neat. It's kind of how it goes. Sometimes, just gotta be messy. All right, here I'm going to let a little more of this dark be carried along here, like so. See that circular brushstroke? This is how we're getting basically a soft edge without. Do you see a ton of paint on this brush? Now, I don't even know if it shows up. Yeah, look, there's barely any paint on that brush. This is exactly how we work with miniatures. And as you can see, it sure as heck works with 2D art. So I guess I don't want you to think like, oh man, if I'm not really using a lot of paint, am I really getting the oil paint experience? Oh heck yeah, you're getting the oil paint experience. We certainly are here, right? And hopefully this kind of illustrates too how or why, I guess, that the miniatures just get painted so fast or so quickly, whatever. Right? Hopefully this illustrates that point. very little paint. If I had piled all this stuff on, even this very absorbent board would have said, ah, you know what? I'm out. It's a, you put a lot of paint on here. I'm going to take a break for a while. Yeah, you can't put any more paint on me, which would be unfortunate, of course. I'm going to see if I can't. I'm going to play around with something here. Just going to mess with something right there. There it is. It is my blending brush after all. Yeah, I didn't want to be a solid black. That's not what we're looking for. Not looking for any solid black or anything like that. Again, we'll blend this here. Now, if we had gessoed this thing, well, first of all, you would have been seeing all the brush strokes from the gesso. That's another reason why we didn't do the gesso thing here. I suppose you could try and, do an airbrush version of gesso on there or something like that, but I just wanted the natural tooth of the board. That's all I needed tooth-wise. So we just blue tacked some hot press illustration board. It's the same stuff that we use for all of our little color charts and such. So yeah, just a little bit of a hot press illustration board. Hey, Bethany, how are you doing? Well, happy early birthday, Bethany, and thank you so much for joining us here. So happy early birthday. Well, I think we're Facebook friends, so you'll probably be getting a happy birthday from me there too. And Quiz says to Nick, so you're a formula. So Quiz, hopefully you got something yummy to munch on today. You know what? I'm actually gonna oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get a little darker there. Why not? There's some of the black spinel, some of the indigo as well. And is it as hot and pressed as Quiz? But we got Coffee Nerdy Beer, who's going to let us drink a little bit of mead. Thank you so much, Coffee Nerdy Beer. Let's see. Watch out, big acrylic. Another trip around the sun. Yeah. We're prophesizing here, right? We are prophesizing on the oils right now, aren't we, Coffee Nerdy Beer? Thanks so much. And if everyone could also please give Coffee Nerdy Beer a follow. And Coffee Nerdy Beer, you got to throw in, you have to throw in your Instagram links into the chat of your paint mixing adventure. Yeah, you have to throw those pictures into the chat so that people can see what your paint mixing adventure was like. And like Nixa was saying, you have to essentially guide the viewer into your picture. You gotta lead them in, you gotta carry them through, but you gotta leave them an exit. You gotta give them an exit strategy, because if you trap them in the picture, they ain't gonna like that. They're gonna be all crazy if you trap them in the picture. So you don't want to trap them in the picture. So you also have to give them a little bit of an exit point too. So Coffee Nerdy Beer, I hope that you've been having yourself a good Saturday. That's been a really, really nice birthday here, I gotta say. Just kind of everything worked out very nicely, and I'm super grateful for it. And Armored Wolf was very generous, and we also had some pizza arrive as well. So yes, we had some of that too. There we go. Oh, yeah, the paint messing. There you go. But it's kind of funny because your exercise was actually far neater than mine was. I'll tell you that. Mine was oh, it was quite the mess. Even more so because I was doing it on a video. So it got even more messy. Which you'll probably be saying, wait a minute, what? Even more messy? I think we're gonna, yeah, let's get ourselves a couple of more darks in here. I want that edge to be a little sharper too. I mean, these two are the ones coming closest to you, right? Oh, so Loim, uh, the descriptions of Minas Morgul, outside of the tower, right? The Tower of the Moon there. How do you feel as far as how close have people been getting with the Minas Morgul look to the way you kind of saw it by reading the books? Now, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know exactly if maybe Tolkien didn't give it the most precise description outside of it being kind of blasted and sickly and taking something that was beautiful and making it look kind of nasty. We couldn't, we didn't know if it also was the same for Argentina. Probably not the same for Chile, but I think for Argentina too, right? We didn't know if that extended up to like Uruguay and some of the northern countries. I know when you look at a map, some of my Instagram map things, they kind of have the map of Portugal and Spain dividing the New World between them. And essentially, you follow that map, you can basically see where Portuguese or Spanish is going to be the language. Ah, so Portuguese is the mother language. And it looks like Rocket is going to get. Oh, he got the first texture rollers tonight. Oh yeah, yeah. So the yeah, Rocket, my clay extruder came with recipes for pasta, and you'll have fun. You're gonna have a lot of fun with that, of course. I mean, the texture rollers, right? It just doesn't get any more fun than those guys, does it? Absolutely love those things. Nah, no hablo is universal for any language. Passe, bon, good nuit, good nuit. Oh, thank you so much, Angelus. The crazy thing is that I could actually, at one point when I was in school, read and write in French, but if you spoke it to me, no clue. It just, you might as well have, you could have spoken Russian, you could have spoken Finnish, you could have spoken anything, and I wouldn't understand it any better than the French. But if you had just written it down and put it in front of my face, that I could understand. I couldn't speak it. I couldn't understand it when it was spoken to me, but for some insane reason I could read and write in that language. It was very bizarre. I don't know if I guess there is some kind of specific learning thing where you can. It's almost like shellfish allergies where you can be allergic to everything but shrimp because they're different critters. I told my friend that I was going to be getting one, and he said that he probably has one that they used twice. You know, Rocket, we certainly never would have used it to make pasta. Guaranteed, 100%. I never would have made pasta out of it. There's some parts of it that I've never even used for sculpting. And that's mostly this part specifically to make the pasta strands, right? So yeah, I haven't even used that part ever, and we've had it for a long time. So Patik, the now of course there's the starter set colors, the usual ones, but Indigo, Terra Rosa, Van Dyke Brown, those are three just they're so utilitarian. They literally can you can do anything with those. So those are the three total must-haves. I would highly recommend at least one cadmium yellow. Potentially, I would say start with cadmium yellow deep because you can always lighten it. I also would suggest now if you can get the Egyptian violet from Williamsburg, that's great. Diazonine purple or diazonine violet, whatever, it's a substitute. It's not the same, but it's close enough. It's close. I would suggest that as well. And of course, I love the perline black, which is a very dark green, but you could conceivably make that out of, say, indigo and phthalo green. That's another one you might want, phthalo green. Of course, phthalo green tends to come in every single starter set. Now here this is a little bit of asphaltum here. Why are we putting the asphaltum in there? There actually is some already back here, but that's to just warm this up a smidge. And I'm trying to put a little bit of a, I don't want too much back there. If I put too much on this here, it's going to just bring your eye back here way too far. We don't want to be doing that. Okay. Yeah, there we go. And like so. And I'll bring this right down to here. See that? Just cutting that through all of these soft layers of color. Look at how, see the red, it's like a red fog, a red mist, just like we did over here, just like we did down here. Same idea here, except that is way more muted, this one going, that we got here, because that's got the fluorescent green, right? Boy, you know, Rocket, I have, oh boy, it's going to be hard to find, or is it? Oh, it's kind of funny because this perline red, when I saw this, you know, when I got the perline black, which was that really dark green, I thought, oh, I'll have to give this another try. And I've looked at it, it's just not, it's weird. I don't know. And it's super transparent, whereas the perline black is semi-opaque, I think. Well, I mean, sort of semi-opaque. But it's interesting. It's perline, just the same as the perline red, but very different there. So Patik, yes, what I'm going to do is, actually I took that one. I wish I had taken more pictures along the line here because we've added a bunch more stuff to it. But we'll definitely be posting this to Instagram right here. Obviously, we don't need a lot of views, right? I was just thinking, like, I only need like one picture of this. But I wish I had taken more pictures along the way. But we will take at least that other picture from like more beginning stages plus this, and we'll definitely post this on Instagram. The other thing I want to do is take this and just take this one and put it on YouTube because I'm going to be doing another one next. And, you know, hopefully that's going to be another video that I can throw up on YouTube as well. Now, it could be, it's either going to be some Mordor or it's going to be, I was tempted on the Argonath, but I'm just going to look through some of my other references here real quick, like, where that, oh, here we are. No, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking over here on my, yeah. Let me see if I can find my downloads. There we go. Oh, that's it. I was thinking of either Erebor or Mordor. One of those two. I'm just gonna, here, let me see if I can make this image a little bit bigger here. All right, so we're either going to do some Mordor or we're going to do ourselves some Lonely Mountain type stuff. Or maybe both. I don't know. It depends. It depends. I might also take a wee bit of a break of nature before I start up the next one there. So that I can also resupply on some liquids too. Patika, I'm glad. So do you think it will make them even more believers in the idea of oils for miniatures when they see it's like, look, there's nothing different between this, what I'm doing on this, and the miniatures? Because for the longest time, when we first started doing this stuff here on Twitch, that was the biggest thing to fight was this idea that no, you can't do this with oils, no, you can't do that with oils. It's like, well, yeah, you can do all of these things. You most certainly can. Here, let's, no, I'm not going to bother with the spear right there because it doesn't matter. Probably going to be a mat there anyways. Might just get some rocks down here though. So yeah, Rocket, unfortunately, I guess if I had been taking pictures all along the way, that would have been fun. I just, in the heat of battle, I could not remember to do that. I was kind of intending to do that,
So say we all.
but people have been really super generous, like Jarrett, and doing donations and subs. Uh-oh. See, now you know why we have to refill there. Thank you so much, Jarrett. That's 10 months of subscribing. And if people could please give Jarrett's Terrain Minis a follow, that would be sensational. So, Jarrett, speaking of posting things on Instagram, if you got yourself some of your recent Instagram posts or something like that, things you've been working on, you know the usual. Feel free to post those into the chat if you want to. Let people see what kind of fun stuff you've been working on. Actually, so Jarrett, have you guys still been working on the musical stuff too? I don't remember if you and V have had a chance to do that second musical stream or musical multi-stream yet. Oh, thanks, Jarrett, and thank you very much, Lynn, again. Here we'll have to, yeah, we'll have to fill that up with something here because, well, that's no fun. But thank you very much. I appreciate that, as always. All right, Nosferatu, you have a good one. Thanks for joining us here, and I don't know. I guess it's on to Armada Monday, which kind of sounds, it sounds very Italian for some reason. Sounds quite Italian. I don't know why, but it just kind of does. Let me see. So we did, oh, you're planning on a third episode. Wow. So yes, Jarrett's Terrain Minis and Flagger Dragon are definitely accomplished musicians, and they did a two multi streams now, where it's a very much a deep educational dive into music and instruments and really fun. A lot of information there, a lot of personal experience stories of learning instruments too. So I think it's definitely something you would enjoy. So Len, again, I hope that you are doing well too and having a really fun Saturday. Now this, what are we doing here? See, those are very regular. I've been waiting. You have no idea how long I've been waiting to put those on there. Because this is kind of that stuff that was put on, by the Orcs, right? Which is why these, you could see they were not the darkest color, right? Because I knew I was going to come back in with this dark. At a certain point here, I knew there was going to be that come in with chess match, right? Look at me thinking ahead. Look at me being all like pre-planning things. Well, maybe not really. Look at Rocket. Look at Rocket doing Rocket breaking out some wordcraft right there. Look at that. Rocket just that's a good one, Rocket, right there. That is very good. He did some modeling and played your first Sigmar third edition. So Len, again, then that means you're the authority here in the channel as far as who has played AOS third edition. So what did you think about it? So Patika, Armored Wolf, well, there wouldn't be a channel here if it wasn't for Armored Wolf. Because Armored Wolf is, obviously he makes the educational value of the channel exponentially higher because well he can also answer questions when I'm just flaking out and not seeing the questions, but he's always right there with the links, right? So yeah, that's why we always want to try and support Armored Wolf as much as we can. Because Armored Wolf is I mean, like I said, there wouldn't be a channel if there was no Armored Wolf, so I think that's a pretty definitive that's definitive right there. So see what we did here? Look at this. Kind of like what we're doing back here, but because this is more of a foreground element, we can do a bit more there. Boy, I keep forgetting to take the pictures along the way here of this guy. So I think we'll have to maybe do some Mordor stuff next, just because our Misty Mountain, Lonely Mountain, that's going to look very much just like a regular landscape. And I think we want to keep going with our stuff like that. This, though, I was really looking forward to this. The Minas Morgul, the story of it, the imagery of it. There's just something about that, especially for somebody who basically grew up with skyscrapers and loving skyscrapers, that whole kind of thing. So
Hello, little hobbit. Spark my gun.
the architecture of Middle-earth has always been super fascinating for me. And thank you so much. Quickly, quickly, fly, you fools. Quickly, thank you very much, quickly, for that follow. I appreciate that. Let's see, I think it's the best version of the game to date. You have a lot more to do in your opponent's turn, and it will certainly take a minute to learn it all. Oh, yeah, we have... now, somehow, my Mordor picture didn't... I thought I had a Mordor there, but I guess not. I thought I did. I guess I could try to add it. So we could try... I might try to do that during the break there where we take our little nature break, and maybe I can get one of my Mordor pictures lined up or something like that. But now kind of you got your Barad-dûr and then Mount Doom in the background, or vice versa, either Mount Doom in the foreground or Barad-dûr in the background. All right, this right here. Again, it's just a dry brush, right? Just a little smidge of a dry brush there. That's all. Look at that. And what else am I going to do? I'm pushing this further back. We're like pulling and pushing. It's almost like we're sculpting, right? Didn't we do that especially on our robes, on the things we were sculpting, but even on our Great Beast of Golgoroth right here? We were pushing and pulling the epoxy sculpt back and forth to create folds and other fun shapes like that. Hey, Laminess. So yeah, Laminess, if you want to shoot me a message on Insta or via Messenger or something like that on Facebook, those are the primary ways. Well, it used to just be via Messenger, but now, oh my gosh, there's dozens of Instagram messages that come in every day now too. So Laminess, how you doing? I hope that your Saturday was fun. Okay. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to check anything since, about 6:30 or so. Man, that is just so much fun. I can't tell you how much fun this has been. So I wasn't quite sure if anybody was going to watch this, and Armored Wolf just said, "Look, you'll enjoy it. It's gonna have some major educational value. Yeah, just go ahead and do it." So I'm really glad that I did. I always worry when it's not just miniatures. Even the terrain streams, I'm like, is anybody gonna want to watch terrain streams? But then Armored Wolf says, seriously, are you kidding me? You've only done like 8 of them now. People will watch them. Don't be stupid. You're able to hang out with a friend for the day. And Lord Zephyrus, nice to see you back. And oh, and thank you so much for the birthday greetings. So Patik, that one I might be able to paint on stream because I think it's small enough that I can fit it on camera, just like the Rohan building, right? So I might actually be able to paint that on stream. Uh, I'd make no guarantees, but I would really like to. In fact, maybe even.
So say we all!
Ford. Well, geez, sorry, Ford, to greet you with an empty glass, but 14 months of subscribing for Ford Fitch. Thank you so much, Ford. I appreciate that. You know, Armored Wolf sticking on this little board. Well, not so little. This is my terrain stuff here. But it does help keep this flatter. Otherwise, it would be like this. So it does help keep that a little bit flatter for people. And Ford, thank you so much for the subscription there. I hope that you are having a fantastic Saturday. It's really been, I have to say, it's been a very cool day here. It's been a lot of fun, and this is kind of capping it off right here, having some fun doing some landscapes of Middle Earth. You know what? This needs to maybe be darker back here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we'll just drop in something like this right here. Nice and easy, nothing too dark, but something that's got a little darkness to it. Yeah. I might. I'm gonna look at my picture over here. Oh, so there is. Wow. Oh, and that goes over. But I'm not gonna extend that over there. Nope. Picture says yes, but I'm saying nope. I'm also gonna extend this down a little bit too. Those light colors there. Extend those down a bit. I'm glad that you're having yourself a decent Saturday. I know it's sometimes it can be too much to expect the weekend to be fun, right? Because sometimes the weekends you're almost busier than you are during the week. Like sometimes on a random Tuesday night, you might actually be more relaxed than you are on a Saturday or a Sunday because you're trying to use that weekend to do all the things you can't do during the week. Yeah, I like that. I like that, but I want to get just a smidge more. See if this is going to be too much or just enough. No, I think that's consistent with what's sitting right over. Because basically what we got here, there's one right here. Now, technically, there should be one over there. You know what? I should probably add that over there. It's going to make this separate even more. So, all right, we're making another change. It's nothing dramatic, nothing crazy here, but what we're doing is this. That might be a little bit too bright of a green there. We're going to dull that. We're going to dull that down. What with a little bit of Van Dyke brown. Yep. Maybe take out the edge a little bit there. All right. So essentially what this is right here is basically the next layer of this. So this and this basically is this and this. This and this basically here and here. So those are the edges that we're seeing. However, they're going back to the background. The further they're going back to the background, if I start putting too many hard edges or dark colors on them, it's going to really just verschmizzle the entire effect. So we got to be careful with that, got to be aware of it. I mean, we can always soften it, right? There's nothing that says you can't soften it after the fact, but we don't want to have to just basically redo stuff that we've already done once. All right, so now, so basically this, it's this one layer back. This and this is one layer back from these two. This is basically right here. So we're pushing each of these sets back, right? Nah, I thought you could relate to that, Ford. I thought so. Boy, I'm sure so many folks could just say, "Yep, that's a Saturday for me, running around doing stuff that I wanted to get done during the week, but was too darn busy during the week." So I did throw a little bit more on that edge there to bring that out. Yes, I can do that with acrylics. Sure, no problem. However, doing it with the oils, oh, nice and easy, right? And I think you can see here, look at a little bit darker edge there. We got a little bit of that kind of reddish mist that flows down. Now we could, I don't want to say double down on it, but we do have this thing here. It's still got paint on it. Again, nothing but the highest quality tools. Look at that. There's interference paint right on there. Look at that sand and gravel right there. I don't even know what that is. That's some kind of gesso or something on that brush. But yet we're going to be painting with it. We're painting delicate, delicate red fog or orange red fog with this mostly destroyed brush because, that's what we do here. I can only imagine, some of the other painter folks, they're watching this and they're always telling folks to get, the best brushes, the best everything. We use the best. It's the one true brush that takes many forms. Yeah. Oh, it takes oh so many forms. Uh, Mostly destroyed ones because of me, of course. I gotta go back in with a bit of our cadmium, our diet cadmium scarlet. I'm gonna maybe try and do a more of a flame on the sword here. At least extend the flame a little bit. I don't want it to look like he's got a lantern on him. Ah, that might just do it there. Now it's starting to look more like a. Yes, that's better. All right, and you know what? I might even double down some more on the light on our Nazgul's head there, our Felbeast's head. Oh, Frozen Toes was able to say, well, if I'm gonna have to do all this running around, so did Frozen Toes get to make a little bit of a Frozen Toes stop there along the way? A little something for Frozen Toes. Hey, I think that's totally legit right there. Ah, now I'm liking this. So again, it carries this over to here, but this looks more like it's a sort or something that's not just a lantern. Because I looked at that and I said, boy, I don't want his sword to be 40 feet long, but I also don't want it to look like he's got a little lantern in his hand. And I think that looks less like a lantern now and more like maybe a flamey sword. And our fell beast here, I'm just gonna again try and put some. Well, I might even do some of this. Just make it look like he's got some of that glistening stuff there on his skin. Yeah, why? I don't know. Reasons. Now our lightning, I might also hit the lightning there in just a couple of spots to make it that much brighter. And I'm thinking I'm also going to throw out some more of my white here. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, we're going to need it for our other ones anyways, so there, a little bit of white right there. And we'll just, I'm looking at the places where essentially the lightning kind of runs into other stuff. We're not doing the whole thing. See, we're just hitting parts of it. Makes it look more like electricity